Merry Christmas. Oh. It's time for some TTI League action here. We've got Beton and BogoJedi here. Beton's actually playing a really interesting deck. Dooku Yellow. I haven't ever seen this one be played before, so we'll see how it works out. BogoJedi's playing CAD Tarkintown, which has been... it's won a couple in-person events. I think it won a pretty big one in Europe recently. So here's that list. And these are all in the description if you want to take a look at them anytime on Substack. But this is CAD Tarkintown. It's got, sneak attacks, now there are two of them. Really the point is to cheat out things like, Zuckuss early if you can, and then you've got, up to Cad Bane in the late game to really close things out. And he's got even more stuff on the sideboard. It's just difficult to deal with. He's got Lurking TIE Phantoms, Change of Hearts as well. So this deck is just, it's very valuable. And you also have the play of being able to go second turn one and then play any 2-drop unit, hit their turn one play, and then kill it with Tarkintown. We'll see how that matches up into this Dooku deck. It's Dooku Yellow, and it's running some of the exploit stuff in these colors. Something like a Confederate Courier could be like an answer to Cad Bane turn one. Something like Poggle is liable to get shut out by Tarkintown. So we'll see. Beton's list could end up being vulnerable to this Tarkintown. But it could also end up being a counter to it in some ways. They need me to... reload. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at the bracket here. Winner of this one gets to go and play Eroth in top 8, who's on speed and ECL. All right, and it looks like we're actually getting ready to get started here. So good luck to BogoJedi and Beton. Oh, do they need me to? It looks like Beton did win the initiative and did stick Bogo with it. So that generally bodes well. Although if Bogo just passes, then maybe it doesn't. So we'll see. There's a Rush Clovis picked up. I need to remind myself of what that card actually does. Okay, it did get resourced here, but I should know. Oh, it's from their Battle Droid generator. All right. So, Bazine is the opening here. And this is not, like, the ideal hand to Bazine. Because, normally you take the turn 2 play, but if they've got multiples, then maybe you don't need to. Vader or Reinforcement Walker is a solid hit. Either one of them. I would probably go Vader, personally. He might also just do nothing, which is valid. Taking a look at BogoJedi's hand, he doesn't at the moment have a 3-cost unit. So, I mean, there's lots in his deck that he could draw. But looks like he's going to do nothing here. Oh, and he did draw a couple 2-drop units. So, no 3, but he does have a play this turn. All right, there's a super laser. Beton picks up the Generation Patrol Fighter, which, okay, it's not going to end up mattering because I was going to say he could exploit the super laser tech and play it next turn. But he might just be able to, well, I mean, now he definitely is able to just straight up play it after going into 5, but it's not, I mean, it's not really that valuable, so he's just going to resource it here. These B2 Legionnaires could come down, but it looks like that's not even going to happen. It's going to be super laser tech. And then Lux Bonteri joins the fray. That's another one we haven't seen a ton of. It's an exploit counter. Or now there are 2 of them counter, actually. All right, and then Forlom comes in and clears the board here. That's another really powerful tool that this deck has, is just using the CAD with the Forlom to put 5 damage out. But Beton did get the double ramp off. He's on 7 while Bogo's on 5, which means he's got access to a Vader. And then a Reinforcement Walker next turn. This is also his Dooku flip turn. There he is. The man himself. I'm going to pick up a droid commando. Had a couple other options there, but I think commando is I mean, it's the biggest unit he could have gotten, so makes sense that he'd go for it. Takes out this Forlom before another Zuckuss can come out. Tarkintown does deal with the Vader right away, but now it's off the table for the future. Bogo also has the okay, he's not gonna go for the McClunky, but he could have gone for McClunky to clear the commando, but he's just gonna bosk it instead. And Dooku clears the bosk. And now, I mean, Bogo's just sending things into the base. And now we're on the CAD flip turn. And another Forlom picked up for Bogo also. Although this Dooku, I mean, this Dooku's getting value here. It took out a Bosk, and it's going to take out a Forlom as well, possibly. Or something else. And it's going to get 5 damage into the base as well. So we'll see. Bogo does have a couple other ways to deal with it. He could go like knock off the shield on Smuggler and then McClunky, and that does it. All right, Reinforcement Walker. He's gonna come in and discard that Traitors to heal 3, and that becomes a bit more challenging to deal with. But it's just gonna get waylaid. The waylay doesn't even really deal with it. It just stops it for another round. Oh, is McClunky an underworld card? So if McClunky's an underworld card, which I think it is, He actually doesn't even need to attack first to clear this Dooku with the Clunky. And yeah, it is. All right, and there's the CAD flip. And this is where, this is where the CAD deck can really start making things go crazy. Bazine's going to come out and deal with the Walker forever. Ooh, Hotshot Blaster found going into the resource row. Forlom is in hand here, which can wreck any play that Beton decides to make. And from this point, like, it's going to be really hard for Beton to deal with this CAD. All right. Patrolling AAT, gonna come down. That dies to either Hotshot or Forlom here. Or actually it doesn't, because there's the second, it only dies to Hotshot, it doesn't die to Forlom. Because of the Poggles out there too. And yep, there it is. That does set up potentially Droid Commando killing the CAD next turn, but if the Poggle dies, like, say to this Forlom, then that's not going to happen anyway. Oh, is he just going to exploit the Poggle before that even has a chance to happen? Yep, that's a really good move by Beton there, because now he sets up the Droid Commando very nicely. Oh no, but the Cad Bane is actually just going to kill it. Never mind. Reinforcement Walker here, picked up. That's, it's a bit too little too late. How actually late is it? Beton's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage on board. It's he can survive this turn with it. But Bogo's going to be able to play all 3 of these units this turn. It's going to be hard to get through everything next turn. Here's the Walker. Almost certainly going to heal unless it's like a really good card. Ooh, that is a good one, but I think you do have to heal. Ooh, there's a Hotshot Blaster. And then, yeah, 2 more units going to join the fray here. Beton's got 4 health left. And is he just going to call it here? Looks like it. All right. And we're going to game 2. That was... that looked pretty dominant for BogoJedi here. Beton made it last, but, he was behind pretty much the whole time. Even though he got the double ramp out, This CAD deck just has so many tools to deal with threatening units. It's really hard to beat these Tarkintown decks by playing out units of your own to deal with theirs, because they're always going to win the trade war here. But let's take a look at sideboards. Looks like most of Beton's sideboard is geared towards control decks. So, I mean, maybe he's got scanning officers here, which could take out what do you call them? Hotshot blasters. And he's probably going to bring in the third Vader here, which is potentially a way to help stabilize the board. But let's take a look at Bogo's sideboard. He's got a lot of space units that could come in. Which I mean, they might come in. Like, Beton doesn't have a ton of space units. He's got these. He's got the Courier and the Hyena Bomber, not the Hyena Bomber, the P-38 and the Geonosian Starfighter. So maybe it's too risky to bring in the Phantoms. We'll see. Change of Hearts might come in. That could be a good thing if it ends up going late. But we're getting started right now with Game 2. Some other things to mention. Beton's made the top cut a lot. He's a veteran of the league here, and I believe this is BogoJedi's first top cut appearance. But he's done great for himself so far. He won a pretty convincing top 16 match against another Polish player, Kotal. Or top 24, sorry. All right, Beton going to come in, clear that Forlom before it can be too big of an issue. Beton actually choosing to go first here is interesting. We'll see if he's able to bait out the Tarkintown early. Looks like he isn't, which means this Beton can be exploited. And Beton's got a couple promising targets for that exploit. Either this patrolling AAT or the Geonosian Starfighter. And again, on the other side, no 3-cost units for BogoJedi, just a bunch of 2s. But he does have a 1 as well on this Greedo, so you can play 2-cost, 2-drop plus Greedo. Beton looks like he's going to base first before committing to an exploit play, leaving Bogo with the option to kill this Beton. He's not going to take it, though. But he does use the Cad Bane ability, which means whatever thing he exploits, if he does do that, is not going to... Oh, wow. And the Beton draws Beton into Super Laser Technician, which I think is a better play than exploiting here. And Greedo joins the fray here. Greedo does just immediately get killed by the Super Laser, though. And that's what's going to happen. And Greedo's going to flip. I don't think there are a ton of targets in Bogo's list. Oh, that's one of them, though. That's going to kill the Beton. Doesn't matter a ton, but you definitely don't like to see that. All right, Geonosian making an appearance and bouncing back that Smuggler. And this, I mean, so far this game is looking, I think, a lot better for Beton. It always could be better. His hand is not the greatest here, but it could definitely be worse. All right, McClunky, they're going to clear off the Genosian. Scanning officer going to be played. And misses. And presumably Beton's is planning to exploit the scanning officer for the AAT here. I guess he doesn't do it, and instead the scanning officer is just going to get eaten by Bosk here, leaving Beton with no other plays. Ooh, Palpatine's Return. We saw that. That's a sideboard card, so we know that comes in. Beton does have a solid Vader here, and he can flip his Dooku. But remember, I mean, if Vader goes into Bosk, Vader just gets eaten by Tarkintown. So it looks like Beton's actually making a slightly riskier move in flipping the Dooku first, presumably to kill the Dooku before playing the Vader, so that then you can play the Vader on something else that doesn't immediately die to Tarkintown. And this is, I mean, this Beton, you really don't want to see it here. Two copies of Vader and something that can get the Vader from the discard pile. I probably just don't even go for anything. Maybe hit the Palpatine's Return, just because theoretically that's a more versatile card going into the later game, but you're not really happy with any of these. He's just going to take one of the Vaders, I guess. Draws Beton into a Change of Heart. That could be massive later. All right. And then playing the Beton gives Beton an opportunity to kill this Bosk. And yep, there's the Vader. And ooh, P38 is a pretty strong pull off of here. Beton might be as well. But I mean, P38 allows you to deal with the punishing one, so I think it's more promising. Yeah, that's what happens. And then Vader's gonna run over the Beton. All right, here's Cad. Could be backed up by a 4-LOM as well. I mean, 4-LOM would trade with Dooku. They'd both die, which isn't ideal. Cad could also do the same thing, but he survives. I mean, Beton's done a good job of making it awkward for Bogo here. But then there's also the simple play of just go to base, but it looks like that's not going to be the route that Beton goes. Okay, this is tricky here. So the Forlom comes down, Cad triggers, he deals 2 damage. You could go both on Vader, then the Forlom takes out Vader. I think that's the play here, I think. Because the alternative is you put one on the P-38, the P-38 gets Tarkintown, and then you don't have a way to deal with that punishing one. There's Palp's return. Takes the Vader out of the discard pile. And he's going to pick up another P-38. Can you assign the damage split, though? Oh, can you not? I don't know. Maybe you can't. I mean, in that case, you basically... It's the same dilemma of, do you let your Vader get killed or your P-38 get killed? It's just that you wouldn't be taking the Tarkintown along with you. All right, Zuckuss is massive here. Beton doesn't have an immediate answer to it. He does have, he has a roundabout answer. They choose a unit they control, deal 2 damage to it. Yeah, so you can split it. All right, so he's gonna go change a heart here, which was a valid play. Another play he had, which ends up taking him more damage, is go crash P-38 into punishing one, deal the damage to Zuckuss. Zuckuss gets a hit, and then you can Vader it, which doesn't feel great. Here's Cad Bane. Going to steal 2 of these units here. Cad is liable to just getting killed this round. But remember, the Zuckuss would go back to Bogo here. And Ben's playing this one aggressively, going P-38 to the base instead of into punishing one. And Vader as well. Just gonna be like, I don't care about your Cad. All right, and then he's actually gonna just sacrifice that space unit here. The patrolling AT is solid on the ground, and overrolling barrage picked up here. That's actually pretty big. Although Bogo does have the initiative, so he might be able to mess it up a little bit. Ben's also got a reinforcement walker if he wants to go for that play. Yeah, it looks like though Ben's just gonna go aggressive here with the AAT before it gets killed. And this aggressive strategy seems to be working for Beton. He's got to take 2 from the Raider. Did he not get that? Yeah, there we go. He got it. All right, here's Barrage. This Barrage makes Vader lethal here. He's just got to make sure that there's nothing he's not playing around. And it looks like... It looks like there isn't. Yeah, no. Nothing that can be done here. And I think we're going to see a game 3. Yeah. Wow. All right. And Beton looked like he was behind, but he saw a path to victory and he took it. He wasn't beat as hard in the early game. In game 2, in game 1, he was. I mean, he was very much hurt hard in the early game. Lost a lot of his early plays, but in game 2, that did not happen. So. Has been Bogo actually taking initiative. So we'll see if that's different. Doesn't get the chance to set up a CAD play. Unless he open passes. And he's not going to do that. He's going to go for the Bayesian. And again, he sees double super laser. Not what you want to see off of Bayesian is 2 copies of the card that you would ordinarily take. He's going to take one of them. Just to stop the double ramp. And then there's a Lux Bonteri. Here's Lux for anyone that hasn't seen him. It is a little bit of a punish to the potential now there are 2 of them here. But it looks like it's not really going to matter. Because, I mean, the only unit he could exhaust really was Bayesian. Bogo does have the other 2 of them. And playing it into Bosk here is pretty strong. But Super Laser is a great pickup here because it threatens to kill the Bosk. I mean, it's probably going to end up being run over by the Bayesian and not mattering that much, but does force that action. Ooh, 3 copies of Triple Dark Raid for Beton. That's a card we haven't seen yet in this match out of Beton. Is Triple Dark Raid and is, let me just double check, is Bogo on it as well? Bogo's actually not on it. All right, and there's Boba coming out. Immediately gets Traitorist, but does clear the Super Laser to prevent the Bosk from dying. All right. We got some Bounty Hunter and Bounty Hunter action. And then CAD being able to... CAD is so good at value trading here. All right, here's Triple Dark Raid. And he finds the Reinforcement Walker, which is what you want to see here. And what's it going to be? It's Palpatine's Return. That's a big one. Man, this TDR into Walker is pretty much the perfect way to deal with Zuckuss. Tarkintown is going to kill it to prevent it from returning to hand, but you're fine with that bet as Beton because you were losing it anyway. And if you want to play it again on 8, you got the Palpatine's return, which gets you there. All right, we're now going into 6 and 7, which means both leaders can flip this turn. Beton can also play out his Vader this turn, but he's going to slow roll it, not go for it immediately. On Bogo's side, he's got double Ruthless Raider, which the Raider is tough to deal with in this deck. Okay, wait, did... Okay, no, he did take the damage. Okay. From the Bayesian attack. All right, here's Vader. Out of the row here, or out of the hand. And gets the P-38 out of the deck. And where's Vader going to go? That's the question. It looks like he's going to... he's going P-38 to CAD. Vader to CAD as well. Background beeping noise? There shouldn't be a beeping noise. Yeah, I don't think there's a beeping noise. You might be talking about my laptop fan, which, yeah, is annoying. Normally, I put my laptop in a different room and then run a bunch of cables out to my setup, but I can't do that right now because of space constraints. And try moving it a bit further away. Maybe turn down the gain a little bit, see if that reduces it a little bit. All right, and CAD bites it here. There absolutely is not a high-pitched beeping in the background. That you might want to get that checked out. Unless you're talking about the fan, in which case you're probably fine. I guess I could see how you might think the... I guess you know it's reasonable to hear the fan as a beeping. But it's just a fan. All right. Palp's return for the Walker. Into the Clovis heals some damage here. The CAD unit is kind of difficult to deal with here, but not impossible. The Ruthless Raider, though, is very, very hard to deal with. Without basically exactly overhauling Barrage. And Bogo has a second one in hand to follow it up. Let me try something else. That might muffle it a little bit. All right. It looks like again Beton is playing the racing game here, and he's close. Like he could, if he gets lucky off this triple dark raid, he could get there this turn. I mean, Beton seems like he's playing like the more control-y deck here, but he that's not necessarily true. Bogo's now 5 health away from dying. He's got I mean, he doesn't have an out for everything. I think Bogo might actually just be forced to take initiative here and see if he can get something. But I don't know what he even has. Is he gonna scoop? All right, I guess he just scooped. I mean, that was game 3. So congratulations to Beton for taking it down here. In 3. That was a pretty tight set. Well-deserved win there for Beton. All right. Sorry I got the audio issue. Plugged at the very end. I'll tell you the solution that I have, and it's not quite a solution, is I just put a big blanket behind the microphone, between my laptop and the microphone, and it seems to be muffling it. So I'll try that again for future matches while I still am in this setup. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember to always take the initiative.